Hello children, welcome to Zero Panic Maths. In today's session, we are going to continue our discussion on finding out the solution for a quadratic equation. In the last session also, we have started on finding out the solutions and seen some of the solved examples and started with the exercise problems 4.2. Okay, and in this session, we are going to solve the second set of problems and the remaining exercise problems 4.2. Okay, if you have not watched the previous session, then please watch that video also. Link is in the description. Okay, now let us see what is this problem is. Okay, now solve the problems given in example 1. They've told that in example 1, it means the solved examples that we started on this chapter. When we started this chapter, we have seen some of the examples wherein we have just formed the quadratic equation. We did not actually solve those, we just formed, because those sessions were only to form the quadratic equations. Okay, so in that session we have seen that there was a problem. John and Jivanti together have 45 marbles. Okay, you remember this? If you have watched that video from the beginning, that is the introduction video, I think introduction video and the example problems on the chapter 4. Okay, so that in that session we have discussed this problem and framed this quadratic equation. Okay, you read this problem, you will get to know that we have already solved this problem to get this quadratic equation. So in this session we are actually finding the solutions to this. Okay, we are not actually forming this quadratic equation. Let us read that. John and Jivanti together have 45 marbles. Both of them lost 5 marbles each, and the product of the numbers of marbles they now have is 124. So we considered John's marble as for x, then 45 minus x were the marbles with Jivanti. Okay, and then minus 5 from each. Okay, that was actually, what was that? That was x minus 5 after losing 5 marbles, and 45 minus x were the marbles with Jivanti, and minus 5 was the marbles after losing 5 marbles. Okay, you remember this question? And then they are saying the product after losing is 124, and the product was 124. When we actually solved this equation, we got this quadratic equation. Okay, so now in this session our job is only to find out the solution for this and actually find out the solution for this. We would like to find out how many marbles they had to start with. What is the value of x? That is the marbles with John, and 45 minus x, those were the marbles with Jivanti. That is what we are going to find in this session. Okay, let us resolve this. Okay, let us write x square minus 45x plus 324, okay, is equal to 0. Now as usual, the first and the last term, it is 324. Okay, now by looking at to this, you need to get two values, okay, whose difference or adding both the values should get minus 45 and multiplication should get 324. So those numbers for me looking like 36 and 9, because you see, if you observe the value, 36 tenza is 360, right? 36 tenza is 360. Okay, so if 36 nines, if you take, it is 36 minus subtract into 360 will actually get 324, and if you add 36 and 9, it will get you 45. So at the first look it is looking like that. So what you can do here is you can say minus 9 and minus 36. You see that minus 36 into minus 9 will get you 324, and minus 9 minus 36 will get you minus 45. Okay, so let us substitute that and split the middle term. Okay, so x square minus 9x minus 36 x plus 324 is equal to 0. Okay, so Okay, now what is uh, the common between this is only x, and what remains inside is x minus 9, right? X minus 9, x into x square, x into minus 9. Okay, what is common here is 36 as usual. 36, x remains, and minus 36, see here only, minus 36 minus 9, 36 into minus 9 is actually 324, right? So x minus 9 and x minus 36 are the factors of this given equation. Okay, so what are the values? What are the values we are going to get? X minus 9 is equal to 0 and x minus 36 is equal to 0. So the two values, both are the values of x. X is equal to 9 and x is equal to 36 will actually satisfy the given situation. Okay, so what did we started with is, okay, what did we started with actually is x is the number of marbles with John. So x can have even 9 or 36 if both are actually the proper solutions only. If John has the marbles as 9, then 36 are the marbles of Jivanti. If you put 36 as the marbles with John, 9 will be the marbles with Jivanti, because together they have defined that together they have 45 marbles. Okay, so you can say, you can finally say that uh, therefore John's marbles is equal to x is equal to, let me take 9, you can even take 36 also, and Jivanti has, how many she had? 45 minus x, that is 45 minus 9, and that is equal to 36, and together they have 45. So if you put 36 as John's marbles, then 9 will be marbles of Jivanti. Both are the proper solutions only. Okay, so this is the first problem in second set of problems, because in example 1 we actually had two problems. One is finding out the marbles with John and Jivanti, and the second is this one. Second is a cottage industry. If you read this problem, you will come to know that you have already resolved and found out this equation. A cottage industry produced a certain number of toys. So we started as the number of toys produced as x. Okay, let us assuming number of toys produced as x. Cost of production of each toy was found to be 55 minus number of toys. Okay, so we said that number of toys, let us write it here. Number of toys is equal to x, and cost of production of each toy, okay, of each toy was 55 minus x, because that is what they told. Okay, 55 minus the number of toys produced. On a particular day, the total cost was 750. Total cost of production is the number of toys multiplied by the cost of each toy. Okay, so what we did is x into 55 minus x, that is the cost of production, and cost of production on that day they're given as 750, that is 750. Okay, with this equation we actually derived this quadratic equation. So we already did that. Now our job here in this session is to find out the solution for this and find out the exact value of x and 55 minus x, for which the values will be, the equation will be resolved and the values will be solved. Okay, okay, now let us find out the values for this. Okay, what is the equation? X square minus 55x plus 750. So it is equal to 0. So it is 750 x square. Okay, it is 55. So 55, if you look at it, 750, 30. So two two bigger numbers only are required, because our product is 750 and adding them should get us 55. So 25 if you take, it is 25 20s is 50, 25 30s are 25 30 will actually go 25 and 30. Okay, 25 30 will satisfy, I think. Okay, 25 and 30. You see, minus 25 minus 30 will get us minus 55, and 30 20s are 600, 35 is 150, 600 157. Okay, yes, this is the solution. 25 minus 30. Okay, let us do that. Okay, x square minus 25x minus 30x plus 750 is equal to 0. Okay, so x common, what remained is x minus 25, x square. Okay, I'll just verify it. Okay, it is not required, but whether any signs got changed or something else is left, just to verify that, I will always do that. Okay, that is a good practice to do always. Okay, 30 as common if you take, then x remains in the first term. Since there is a minus here, I'll have minus also, and 30 25 we already know that 30 25 is 750. Okay, 25 times 30 is 750. Okay, x minus 25, x minus 25 and x minus 30. So x is equal to 25, I can directly write it, and x is equal to 30 are the two roots. You can write one more additional step. X minus 25 is equal to 0 and x minus 30 is equal to 0. Okay, you can add that step over here. So x minus 25 and x is equal to 30 are both the positive values, and both can satisfy this given equation. So you can say, therefore the number of toys produced is equal to x is equal to 25. I'll take 25 or 30. You can give any value. Okay, you can say x is equal to, or you can say x is equal to 30 also, because both will satisfy the given condition, right? Okay, now let us look at the next problem. Okay, now the third problem is a little bit different. There is no equation given here. They are asking us to find out the two numbers whose sum is 27 and product is 182. Okay, now it is something like an equation where they want like this. Okay, x square plus 27x, okay, and plus 182. Okay, they want it something like this. Okay, maybe I think this equation doesn't have the proper information to find out, but we can consider that because they are saying sum is 27 and product is 182, we will assume that this is the equation and let us find out. But why I'm saying this information, this problem doesn't have proper information, because they didn't directly told that this is what the equation is. They are just asking us to find out the two numbers whose sum is 27 and the product is 182. But that is what we were actually about to do when an equation is given. Okay, so if they directly ask it, it is meaningless, I think. Okay, but let us assume this is the equation and we need to find it out. Okay, now 182 is the product, so let us consider 182x square. Okay, so 182, since 2 is the last digit, we need to find out, so for easy finding out the factors easily, we need to look at the last number and see such numbers whose product gives you 2 as the last digit. Okay, is the value, I think. You see, 13 4s are 182 and 13 14 will give you 27. So it's that easy actually. Okay, Let us substitute 13 and 14 to split 27 and find out those. Okay, x square plus 13x plus 14x, okay, plus 182. Now if you think why I was saying as this is an incomplete problem, because they are asking us to find out two number whose sum is 27, right? We have already found 13 and 14. 13 or 14 are those numbers, so what is there in to solve this problem? Okay, that is the reason I was saying this is an incomplete problem. Okay, but anyway, let us find it out. Okay, uh, so x is common and x plus 13 is what remains. 14 common, x plus 13 is what remained inside that. Okay, so if you actually resolve this, you are going to get minus 13 and minus 14, right? Okay, x is equal, x plus 13 is equal to 0, x plus 14 is equal to 0, and that will get you x is equal to minus 13 and x is equal to minus 14. Okay, actually we should be saying, actually we are getting x is equal to minus 13 and minus 14, but according to their problem they are asking us to find out sum as 27 and product is 182. But here if you sum it, sum will be minus 27, not plus 27, and 182 will be the product. 182 will be the product. So I don't know whether we should be saying it as 13 14 or minus 13 and minus 14. So that is the reason I was saying that this problem is a little bit confusing. So let us assume this as the solution for now. If there is anything that I can get something about this, then I will let you know again in any of the sessions. Okay, okay, now let us continue on the next problem. Okay, now this looks a complete problem. This looks like a complete problem. You see here, they are saying two consecutive positive integers, sum of whose squares is 365. See, they are correctly, clearly given that there are consecutive positive integers. Okay, if one integer is considered as x, the next integer is x plus 1. Okay, and sum of squares of those two is equal to 365. This is a perfect problem. Okay, now let us assume, let first integer, or you can say uh, uh, small integer, or I can say first integer only. Let the first integer and second integer, we consider first and second integers. Okay, first integer be x, okay, and second integer, which is the next consecutive integer, second integer is x plus 1, right? If because consecutive integers are one more than the previous, sum of whose squares, so we'll have to make squares of the both and sum those, and that value is equal to 365. It's a very simple problem. Okay, so what we need to do is x square is the square of the first number, x plus 1 is the next number, so the square of that, sum of these two is equal to 365. This is what the given problem is. We need to first resolve this, get a quadratic equation, solve that quadratic equation, and then find out the solutions, right? Okay, so keep x square as it is. This looks like a plus b whole square, where a is x and b is 1. What is a plus b whole square? A square plus 2ab plus b square, that is a square plus 2ab is 1, so 2x is 2ab. Okay, and what is b square? Is 1, and take 365, this side will give you 364 is equal to 0, right? So now let us consider x square is 2x square plus 2x. Okay, and 1 minus sorry, this is not 64, this is 65, right? 65. Okay, after subtraction it will give us minus 364. Minus 364 is equal to 0. Now I can divide this whole equation by 2, just to reduce 2 among all the terms. Okay, so I can say divide by 2. Divide by 2 will actually get me x square plus x minus, okay, 2 ones are 2, 2 eights are, and 2 twos are. See, this equation actually reduced it to the previous equation only. See, 182 is the product and 1 is the difference. Okay, so that is actually 13 and 14 only. 13, 14, the previous one. You see that? 13, 14, the difference is 1 and the product is 182. That is what the solution for this also. Okay, but one among them is minus. One among them is minus. Okay, so let us consider this and find out the solution. X square plus x minus 182 is equal to 0. So it is minus 182. Previously it was plus 182. Okay, and adding them was, we were getting 27. Here it is only 1. Okay, so I can say it is, since it is plus 1, I can say 14x and minus 13x. So 14x minus 13x will get you plus x, and 14 into 13 will actually get you minus 82 with minus 13. Okay, so I can split it as x square plus 14x minus 13x minus 182, right, is equal to 0. So take x out of the first two terms, will leave x plus 14, and taking minus 13 here will leave you x plus 14. 13 14 is 122, right, is equal to 0. So x plus 14 and x minus 13 are the factors of the given equation. So x plus 14 is equal to 0 and x minus 13 is equal to 0. So there will be x is equal to 13 as one root and x is equal to minus 14 as one root. Okay, but what is asked to us among the two roots that are found out, we should be seeing what is asked. Okay, they are saying find the two consecutive positive integers. They are saying x should be one positive integer. So x is equal to minus 14 cannot be the solution because it is a positive integer. They are saying it is a positive integer. So what we considered, we considered first integer as x, and that x is positive integer. So therefore the first positive integer for the solution, okay, first positive integer is equal to x is equal to 13 and next is 14. Actually next is 14. Okay, I can say second positive integer is x plus 1 and that is equal to 14. Okay, this is the solution, but we should not be considering minus 14 because they have given x as a positive integer. So this is the solution for the given problem. Okay, understood? Okay, let us quickly move to the next problem. Okay, next problem is little bit descriptive again. The altitude of a right angle triangle is 7 centimeter less than its base. Okay, we need to consider one right angle triangle here first, and base as x. Okay, and altitude is x minus 7 because they are saying right angle triangle 7 centimeter less than its base. Okay, so base they have not given, hypotenuse they have given. If the hypotenuse is 13 centimeter, find the other two sides. Other two sides are actually the altitude and the base only. Okay, now let us just draw that right angle triangle here. Okay, right angle triangle, if you know, right angle triangle is a triangle with 90 degree, and opposite to the 90 degree is called as hypotenuse, right? And this is base and this is altitude or height, you can say. Okay, this is the altitude. Okay, now what they are saying, is hypotenuse they have given it as 13, so that is already given. Okay, and what other things they have given? Okay, let us consider base as x, and what they are saying, 7 centimeter less than its base is its altitude. So what should I be considering this as x minus 7, because x I have considered it as a base, right? Okay, let me write that first here. Okay, let base of the triangle, base of the triangle is equal to x. Base is equal to x, right? And altitude, as they have already given, altitude of the triangle is equal to 7 less than its base. So x minus 7. That is altitude, right? And hypotenuse they have already given it as 13. But the important thing that we should be observing here is, how can I apply the given information x minus 7 and hypotenuse given 13 as the hypotenuse value? How can I frame the quadratic equation? Okay, now since it is a right angle triangle, we can apply the Pythagoras theorem. If you remember, you have studied Pythagoras theorem in your previous years, either in 8 or 9, you might have studied it. The hypotenuse square is equal to base square plus altitude square. Okay, let me write it here. By Pythagoras theorem, okay, by Pythagoras theorem, and the given triangle, you can take out that triangle also. Okay, Pythagoras theorem, I can say that h square, or you can say uh, a square, that is altitude square. Okay, I can write altitude square plus base square, altitude square plus base square is equal to hypotenuse square, right? You can write that. So that is what the Pythagoras theorem is. What is altitude? X minus 7. Let me put that. And square. What is base? Is x. Is that what we considered? What is hypotenuse given? 13 square. 13 and 13 square. Let us resolve this and find out the quadratic equation, and later solve that quadratic equation. Okay. So it is again a minus b whole square, where a is x and b is 7. Okay. So that is a square minus 2ab, minus 2ab. Okay, let me write that just to avoid the confusion. 2a is x, b is 7, minus 2ab plus b square. What is b square? 7 square. Let me write directly it as 49. Okay, plus x square, this is that base square. Okay, is equal to 169, that is 13 square. Okay, okay, now x square and x square, this x square I can consider it as 2x square already. Okay, and 2 into 4, that is minus 14x, minus 14x. Now this bring in minus 69 to this side, that will become minus 69. Okay, minus 169. 45 minus 169 is equal to 0. Okay, now subtract that is what remained here now. So 2x square minus 14x, so I think 2 will come as a common. Okay, plus, okay, it will be minus, right, because it will give us minus value. Okay, so subtract 49 from this. First you subtract 41, 29, 99, 120, minus 120 is equal to 0. Okay, okay, fine then. Okay, now divide by 2, you will get x square minus 7x minus 60. Okay, divide by 2, I will write it here. Continue from there. Okay, divide by 2, just to avoid the 2 from here. X square minus 7x minus 60. X square minus 7x minus 60 is equal to 0. Okay, so this is the equation. We need to resolve that equation now. Okay, now what are the factors? 60 should be the product and minus 7 should be the sum. Okay, 5x minus 7x, sorry, minus 12x, right? 12 5s are 60. 5 minus 12 is minus 7. Yes, it works. Okay, you can write it for your reference. And x square plus 5x, x square plus 5x minus 12x minus 60 is equal to 0. Okay, so x common will leave x plus 5 inside that, minus 12 common will leave x plus 5 inside that, right? Okay, x plus 5, take 5 common, and x minus 12 is equal to 0. So x is equal to minus 5 and x is equal to 12 are the two values. But again, the same rule applies here. Since x we considered it as the base of the triangle, minus 5 cannot be the value of the base, right? So this is a root of this quadratic equation, but according to this given problem, x is equal to minus 5 is not a proper solution for this problem. Okay, for this equation it is fine. Okay, so therefore you write that, therefore base of the triangle is x is equal to 12. You can substitute that and see, verify that. Okay, what is asked? Find the other two sides. So base of the triangle is 12 and the altitude is 12 minus 7, that is 5, right? So you can write that also. Altitude of the triangle is equal to x minus 7, that is 5. Okay, 12 square plus 5 square, 12 square is 144, 5 square is 25. So what remains? What is the sum of the two? 144, 25, 169, that is 13 square. That is the verification. Okay, so this is the solution for this problem. Let us see what is there. Okay, now this is the problem which is exactly similar to the problem what we have seen in the previous session of producing the toys. Okay, it is similar to that only. Let us read the problem. A cottage industry produces certain number of pottery articles in a day. So we should be considering the number of articles produced on a day as X. Okay, pottery articles. It was observed on a particular day that the cost of production of each article in rupees was 3 more than twice of number of articles produced on that day. Okay, now let us think of how can you convert this into an equation. Okay, let us first write what is x. Okay, what is x? Let number of articles, because that is what I think the last problem asked. If the total cost of the production on that day was 90, okay, so again it is exactly similar to that. Okay, total cost of production will be the number of articles produced multiplied by the cost of production of each article, and that is they have given it as 90. Okay, this will also come into our equation. And finally what they are asking, find the number of articles produced on the and the cost of each article. So we need to consider number of articles as x and cost of each article as what? About 3 more than twice of the number of articles. That is what our equation is. Let us write that number of articles produced. Okay, number of articles produced is equal to x and cost of production of each article, right? Cost of production of each article is equal to what they are saying, 3 more than twice of number of articles. Twice of number of articles is 2x and 3 more than is plus 3. So 2x plus 3 is 3 more than twice of number of articles. And what else they have given? If the total cost of production is number of articles produced multiplied by the production cost of each article. So that will give you the total cost of production, and that is equal to 90 on that particular day. So that is, if you put all that into an equation, you will get a quadratic equation. Therefore, cost of production, I can say cost of production is equal to 90. Cost of production they have given it as 90. And what is cost of production? X into 2x plus 3, right, is equal to 90. Now solve this question. Let me write it correctly. Solve this question. X into 2x, it is 2x square plus 3x minus 90 is equal to 0. Okay, so we need to resolve this question to get the solution. Resolve this quadratic equation to get the solution. Okay, now let me write that here. 2x square plus 3x and minus 90 is equal to 0. So 2 into minus 90 is minus 180, okay, x square, and sum that what we want is 3. Okay, what can be the values? 10 and 13, 13 tens is 130, so any number greater than 13 only. 13 14, 13 14, and 13 14 will not give us 3, so 15 12, yes, 15 12 will give us the value. See, 15 tens are 150, 15 twos are 30, 150 30 is 180, and 15 and 12 difference is 3. Okay, so those are the values. So you can say 12x, okay, and 15x, 12x and 15x, and it should be minus 12 because it gives the product gives as minus, and 15 minus 12 I want plus 3x. Okay, so 12 and 15 are the two values we need to consider. Okay, let us continue splitting this. 2x square minus 12x plus 15x minus 90 is equal to 0. Okay, so it is 2x common, and what remained inside is x minus 6, and 15 common, what remained inside is x minus 6. You can easily write that 15 6 is anyway 90, but since x minus 6 is already there here. Okay, x minus 6 taking common will leave us with 2x plus 15 inside, 2x plus 15 inside. Okay, what are the two? So if these are the factors, what are the two x values? X is equal to 6 and x is equal to minus 15 divided by 2. Okay, you can write that additional step of equating this factor and this factor to 0. Okay, since I don't have a space here, I'm not doing that. You can write that step yourself. Okay, now again we have two values, one with positive value, one with negative value, and what we considered as x is the number of articles produced. So since x we considered it as number of articles produced, it cannot be in negative. So this is not a proper value for whatever x we considered. This might be the value for, this might be the proper root for this equation, but not for the situation. So therefore the number of articles produced, I can write the number of articles produced, which cannot be equal to 0. Number of articles is equal to x is equal to 6, which is our positive value, positive root. And what else is asked? Number of articles and the cost of each article. Okay, and cost of each article is, what is that? 2x plus 3 in equation. All right, so whatever x we considered is 2 multiplied by 6 plus 3 is rupees 15, rupees 15, right? So this is the solution. Number of article is equal to x, and the cost of production of each article is 15 is the solution for this problem. Okay, let us see the next. Okay, so this completes the exercise problems 4.2. Okay, so in the next session we will continue on the nature of roots, wherein using one formula we will find out what are the different kinds of roots of a quadratic equation we can get. Okay, let us meet in the next session. Thank you.